swear in the name of the Almighty.
That is a live swearing in of newly recruited resident magistrates at the Supreme Court building. And of course, Chief Justice David Maraga is leading that exercise. This will increase the capacity of resident magistrates within the judiciary. Now, from Nairobi County, let's head to Kisumu, where adherence has been a major issue when it comes to uptake of not just antiretroviral drugs, but even those on long-term medication. A study is currently underway in Kisumu seeking to establish the adherence of those taking pre-exposure prophylaxis and is monitored using a smart container that sends signals to the health facility whenever it is opened. Our Nyanza Region Affairs reporter Kevin Ogutu engages Joel Odondi, an expert on advocacy in relation to HIV and AIDS, among other things. Ogutu, good morning. Kindly bring us up to date when it comes to treatment of HIV and AIDS.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning. I'm coming to you live from Lumumba Hospital, Sub-County Hospital. And talking about adherence, we'll probably start by defining it. And medics here tell me that it is engagement and accurate participation of people under care. So we are talking about those who are under care. But now with respect to pre-exposure prophylaxis medication, ART, whereby those who are HIV negative take this drug so that in case they are exposed, then they don't get infected, then this brings in a twist into the definition of the adherence. But all in all, we are talking about that consistency, that whether you are taking a PrEP or a PEP, then the consistency that you have really matters when it comes to attaining the objective of this particular medication. And therefore, we've moved from access of ART, antiretroviral treatment, to now adherence. Initially, there was a bit of a problem accessing these particular drugs in the first place. Maybe talk about 1996, when the national HIV prevalence was about 10.5%. And remember, this is about less than half right now, because we are talking about 4.8% national HIV prevalence. That is the national figure. And of course, this is the reason why that informed the decision by President Daniel Moi in November 1996 to declare HIV and AIDS a national disaster. And therefore, just to bring us up to speed on probably why we are having this particular test being done in Kisumu, remember, going by the HIV prevalence per counties, we have Siaya County leading by about 21%. Then we have Homa Bay coming at 20.7%. Then Kisumu County, where this particular study is being done, comes third nationally when you talk about counties at 16.3%. But of course, I'm here with the Community Liaison Officer, Joel Odondi, who will be giving us more details about what probably prompted the carrying out of this particular study in Kisumu County, and of course what it means for the populations in this part of the country. So welcome to KTN News Center, Joel. Probably this is the very place where we had the test for the research on PrEP, and now we have this other research ongoing, pilot phase, on our adherence. Probably give us a bit of a background on why this particular county is getting more popular when it comes to such research.
One of the things, Kevin, that you'll understand is that we participated in the land-breaking research on PrEP. That means that the big research on prophylaxis that was happening in Kenya, Kisumu was part of it, and especially this facility between 2008 and 2012. And as part of what we did, we got the bigger result in the world. That's why now Kenya is implementing PrEP as a prevention strategy, as a way to intervene against HIV. So after doing that research, and now we are helping implementing that very study, this very intervention. Right now, we are also doing other studies to see how best can we deliver PrEP. Where do we get it? How can we deliver it to the people? Some people say, well, let's get it at the outpatient department. Some people say, let's get them into comprehensive care centers. At the same time, we want to see what is the best way or best practices in helping people to actually adhere to PrEP, because PrEP only works when it's taken. It's not working when you put it in the pocket or it is a facility. So we find that sometimes adherence becomes a challenge. And sometimes you also realize that people get fatigued after some time. So we are doing quite a number of studies right now to see, one, where do we deliver it, two, how do we promote adherence, how do we ensure that people are taking it. And Kisumu, as you know, the prevalence is high, but that's not maybe the main reason now. Our problem now is incidence, new people getting HIV. You see, you have to close the tap, because you can't every time be putting new people who have been infected into treatment. You also want to prevent those who are negative, because it's even cost effective to prevent than to put people into care. So our interest right now is to ensure that we attain the 90-90-90. People knowing their status, those who know their status are put on treatment, and those who are put on treatment are achieving viral suppression. But at the same time, we have also to close the tap of these new people that are getting HIV. And a majority are between 15 to 24 years.
Now, let's move straight to the Wise Pill. This is a gadget that when opened, the facility gets notification. And of course, when the person does fail to do this, you have an arrangement whereby they'll get notifications in form of SMSs. Now, tell us a bit about the Wise Pill. And probably why it has to be in that format. Why do we have it in that manner, so that when you open it, it sends a signal to the health facility where you are registered?
Well, as we speak right now, this is something still under research, and so we may not talk so much about it, but the information that should be in the public domain is that this is something that helps us to monitor adherence. And it's a gadget that somebody uses, and it has some electronic connection that it sends us signals. It saves some data when it's like a pill box. For the public to know, it's like a pill box where you put your pills, or a pill bottle, but it's a pill bottle that when you open, it sends some signal that this gadget has been opened. So we're able to understand or to monitor how those who are taking PrEP are taking their PrEP. We want to see about the time they're taking PrEP. We want to see whether their consistency. We want to see whether they take it every time. Are there times that they forget? And how can we improve their adherence in that? So this actually is to help us monitor what are best practices when it comes to taking that drug. And the data that thing saves is not so much about the participants, about just opening the bottle, and we will assume that the participant is opening the bottle only once when taking the pill. Because as we know, PrEP dosage is just 1 pill a day. And 1 pill a day can be a challenge, because if you're not used to taking medication, and especially you're talking about some lady who is not sick, this is somebody who's well. You're telling that you want to prevent yourself. You know, when people are sick, they're more religious in taking the medication. But when they are not feeling that they're sick, they have to, sometimes they get a bit lazy in taking the medication. So this is just a gadget to help those who are taking PrEP to remember that, but also to help us monitor how many times and how often will this person take the drug. So anytime we teach them how to pray, how to use it, it's a simple to use gadget, any person can use it. Yes.
So why did you decide on PrEP and not PEP? Because PEP is what you take when you think you are at high risk of infection. And on the other hand, we have the PrEP where you take because you fear the risk now. Because I'm yet to get infected or to have that exposure, but I'm taking PrEP now to prevent. So why not PEP? Which will be more easier to actually follow? Because these guys will be very religious in taking the drugs.
Well, let's unpack them first. You are taking PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis, when already you have been exposed. So already you have been exposed to maybe getting the virus by having unprotected sex with somebody that you do know their status, or known status, but there was no protection used. And so this one you have to come to the facility before 72 hours elapses, and you have to take this medication for 28 days, which is a rigorous kind of program. So we are not waiting for this person to be exposed. We are looking for pre-exposure prophylaxis. This is somebody that is going to plan about. PEP is an emergency. It's something that's happened, you don't know, you don't have no control. But for PrEP, you're taking control of that future. And quite a number of people would be candidates of PrEP more than what you'd have in PEP. For instance, PrEP we give to them that maybe are in serodiscordant relationships, HIV discordant relationship. That's one person is HIV, the other is positive, the other is negative in a family. We are talking about people who have sex under the influence of alcohol, people who are always presenting with STIs, people who are always coming recurrent use of PEP. As you've said, every time they're coming for PEP, like condom bars or something like that. So we have quite a wide coverage that PrEP would actually cover. People who have transactional sex, or even if you have somebody that's of unknown status. And even for those who are in serodiscordant relationships, we are also looking at the viral load. If you have the positive individual who still has high viral load or detectable viral load, or even if they're in serodiscordant relationship and the positive person is has been only on treatment for less than 6 months. So we still believe or assume the viral load is so high. So I think for PrEP is something that you plan about. It's something that you plan yourself and you protect yourself. But when you talk about PEP, we are almost talking about emergency prevention, which again, depending on the adherence, you could still be infected or infected. And PrEP has shown to work. I mean, over 90% with good adherence. Studies all over the world have shown in Kisumu, we don't only do this one for adherence. We do for family planning. We do for discordant couples. We are helping National AIDS Control Council to roll out PrEP in the country. So we're seeing that people who are on PrEP are actually getting their hope back. I mean, they are getting happy again. They're thinking about having safer pregnancies. They're having their children because those are the questions people are asking. You're telling us to use condoms, but we can't have children. And you're telling us that we have to wait until the viral load gets so low, and these were challenges that people are having. So I think PrEP is something that's come at the very right time, to the right people. It's a message that we're passing across that it works, but only with good adherence. It doesn't work when you're not taking it, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Joel, for a really comprehensive response to some of the questions pertaining to the HIV and AIDS control. What is coming out right here is that we still don't have the cure to HIV yet, but just to make sure that lives of people who are in discordant relationships go on